What's good? It's your boy Fanon. Okay, we got the second part of the second welterweight championship bout of the month coming up this weekend with Errol Spence Jr. fighting Carlos Ocampo. There's not been a lot of people talking about the actual bout that's taking place. So in this video, I'm going to give you my thoughts about the chances that Carlos Ocampo has at shocking the world and beating Errol Spence Jr. And also then I'm going to talk about some things that Terence Crawford said in a press conference yesterday. And I thought there's some very interesting stuff. And also shout out to my man, What's Blazing in Sports. I checked out his live stream really quick today, and he made a mention of an article that came out of the ESPN where Errol Spence talked about Terence Crawford. So we're going to go into that. Now, before I do that, please subscribe. Thank you to the subscribers that are watching the video. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel so that you can get and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we drop videos. Also, thank you to everybody. And thank you very, very much. I don't want this statement to sound canned. Thank you to everybody that supports the channel. Thank you for supporting by watching the videos. I know I put ads in the videos. I appreciate your patience for watching that. I thank you very much for the super chats, the Venmo, the Patreon. Thank you very much. It goes a long way to supporting what the purpose of this channel is. Now, here is my thought on Carlos Ocampo. Somebody don't like this boy because he's going to get hurt. I watched because I tried to do due diligence, right? Like, look, man, what happens if Errol Spence gets shocked by this guy? He's a young fighter, right? Who's undefeated. He's got 22 bouts. He's got 13 KOs, right? He's just, you never know what's going to happen with these boxers. So I went back and I watched a couple of his bouts, a couple of rounds and a couple bouts. And then I looked at his record and I went through his record. And the only conclusion that I can draw is that this kid is in a world of trouble. A world of trouble. He is, counter to what Abel Sanchez says Mexican fighters are, or Mexican boxers are, this guy is a counterpuncher. He is a long, rangy boxer who likes to counterpunch. He has next to no head movement. He has next to no punching power. And he is going to get taken out in very, very, very dramatic fashion. It is leading a lamb to the butcher. I cannot see this bout going. I can't see it going 8 rounds. If it goes 8 rounds, I would seriously, that kid is showing me a lot more than what I just saw. And, that's all I can say. This is a situation where Carlos Ocampo is in way, way, way over his head. And he is a guy that, this is going to be a spectacular show for the boxing fans in Dallas. And this is about that I'm looking forward to see. I really am. I want to see Errol Spence Jr. at his best, and I have no doubt that that's exactly what we're going to see. And so that's it. I don't see, this is going to be a stoppage. And it's going to be a stoppage in an absolutely it's going to be a brutal fashion. I would not be surprised at all if he might not even get to where his corner can wave the towel. I would see maybe 2 rounds, feel out rounds. And then when Errol Spence realizes this kid can't hurt him, then he's just going to absolutely walk. He's going to cut off the ring and he's going to walk him down. He's going to beat him up and he's going to stop him. And he's going to stop him in spectacular fashion. And one of the reasons why I think that this is going to be, it's just going to be I'm glad that, I want to get down to Dallas. I'm going to be really happy for Errol Spence to be able to do this in Dallas in front of his hometown fans. It is a mandatory title defense, so it's not something that Errol Spence had picked out himself. Like he said in the interview that he gave yesterday, he said that he had never heard of him before. But those are the type of guys, if you never heard of them, those are the type of guys you got to worry about. And so there is a chance that he's really can show something that I didn't see in the tape that I watched on him, but I don't think so. And the level of competition is so different between what he's coming to Texas to do and where he's coming from that, this would be Errol Spence Jr. losing this bout would be Mike Tyson, Buster Douglas times 10. It's just this is not Lamont Peterson, and I thought Lamont Peterson was gonna be in a world of hurt because honestly, Errol Spence will do this to top 2-3 guys. He might do it to every welterweight. He might hurt every single solitary welterweight that's out there, tearing them up and stopping them. My only hope for this kid, Carlos Ocampo, is that he does not get that he doesn't suffer permanent damage, because it's that. From what I can see, and I'm not somebody that typically will, count boxers out. This kid's in a world of trouble. He's in a world of trouble. Now, that said, I think that there's another boxer that they get in there with Errol Spence Jr. that's going to be in a world of trouble. Could very, very well be in a world of trouble. And that is everybody else. That is Danny Garcia. That is Keith Thurman. That is Sean Porter. That is Terence Bud Crawford. And I've said this before. Now, one of the interesting things that Errol Spence Jr. said, and he said it to ESPN. And again, shout out to my man, What's Blazing in Sports. I really did. It really enjoyed his live stream for the amount of time I was able to watch it. Just a very, very funny guy. A lot of really good energy. I definitely, ask you guys to subscribe and check him out. Definitely worth watching. This is what he says about Terence Crawford, and I think this is about right. He told ESPN that he respects Keith Thurman, the undefeated WBA welterweight champion, but doubts Thurman can match his grit and hunger. And Crawford, well, and here's the quote about Crawford. He's crafty. He's a switch hitter. He can box. He can move, said Spence, who will face Ocampo in the Ford Center at the Star in Frisco, Texas, the training facility for the Dallas Cowboys. For me, I just feel like I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I'm just as sharp, I have a better chin, I hit harder, I just basically beat him up. And he also said something in another interview where he talked about, it was actually in a conference call, like a media conference call, where he talked about what his plans were for the welterweight division. And he talked about how he still wanted to face Danny Garcia. He wants the next bout that he wants after Ocampo that he's not looking past. Now, that's my credit. He's like, look, I got my mind set completely on Carlos Ocampo and doing the job that he has to do with Carlos Ocampo, because if he doesn't take care of that business, then there is no next bout, right? There is no winner of Danny Garcia versus Sean Porter. So he said that he said that he would have to pick Danny Garcia over Sean Porter, but that Sean Porter is a tough bout for anybody because of his style. Not saying that that he can't be beaten, but just his style, his rough, rugged style, is something that's hard for anybody to face. But he favored Danny Garcia because Danny Garcia's timing, and also because of the fact that Danny Garcia keeps winning. Like whenever you think that Danny Garcia is not going to pull out a bout, he pulls that bout out. The points that he's talking about are like the Amir Khan bout, the Lucas Matisse bout. Those are the two that he was really an underdog for, and he came in and he handled his business, right? And I kind of think, and I've heard a lot of people on my channel say the same thing, in conversations about Danny Garcia, giving Danny Garcia the edge in that bout. He was asked, like, does he still wants Keith Thurman, because Keith Thurman has a belt, has a 147-pound WBA belt. So depending on when he comes back and how many tune-up bouts he needs and all that stuff, he wants to get with Keith Thurman. But after he clears that up, because those bouts are the ones that he believes are the easiest to make, because everybody have the same manager, they all compete on the same network, that would be the easier bout to make than going across the street and going over to Terence Crawford and with Top Rank, right? And I think that Terence Crawford said something to that effect as well when he said that, look, yeah, he'd want to face Errol Spence Jr., but in order for Bob to send him over to Showtime or for Al to send his boxers over to ESPN, that the money has to be right. All that stuff has to be right. So there's a big, a gap in that thing happening. I still do maintain, though, that is the bout that I want to see the most and that I would be the most entertained by. But I just got to tell you, I've been looking at this, I'm watching it. I've said it before. I definitely listened to what Black Fight Fan TV had to say. There's another great channel, if you guys aren't subscribed to, the Boxing Clinic and more, that talked about it as well. I said this last year, and I said this, I've been saying this every time that I've ever spoken about Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, that there is a problem that Terence Crawford has that is something that he cannot bring into the ring with him against Errol Spence. Terence Crawford has a problem that he cannot bring, that is a strength to other people, but if he comes in there with Errol Spence, it is going to be hospital time. And that is his willingness to engage. It's the bully in him. If he comes in there trying to bully, it's not gonna work. If he comes in there if he is not gonna magically turn his mentality into Floyd Mayweather Jr., where Floyd Mayweather Jr. is extremely calculating, where Floyd Mayweather Jr. has no problem going round after round after round, doing the same thing over and over and over again, taking away your best weapon and just scoring points, walking away with his hand raised. There's no hero mentality in Floyd Mayweather Jr. And the fact that he didn't have that hero mentality kept him from making critical mistakes. And these are mistakes that have been made by Terence Crawford over and over again. He made that mistake against Gamboa. He made that mistake against Felix Diaz. He made the mistake against, for them it's a strength in these bouts, but he did it with Jeff Horn. He's willing to take one, and he's willing to sit in there and try to show the other boxer who the boss is. He's not the boss. He's not going to be the boss with Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr., just like Errol Spence Jr. said, he's bigger, he's stronger, he's just as sharp, he has a better chin, he hits harder, and he will basically and actually beat him up. The body. It is Errol Spence Jr.'s commitment and ability to wreck your rib cage, and his jab and his ability to cut off the ring will cause Terence Crawford many, many problems. And that is just bad enough if Terence Crawford doesn't engage. That's how I see it. If Terence Crawford does not engage, if he does box, if he stays on the outside and he moves and he tries to sharpshoot, score points, he's still going to have trouble. Because Errol Spence Jr. has a very effective jab. He's extremely good at cutting off the ring. He has a vicious Mike McCallum type body attack. Not your normal go down to the body every once in a while type of guy. Not, he empties the tank. He empties the tank And he is just like Phil LaGreco. There's a boxer, Phil LaGreco, who I believe is the guy that got knocked out by Amir Khan, who fought Errol Spence Jr. earlier in his career, said about him. He's like, Errol Spence Jr. he's going to beat everybody because he's willing to take a punch because he knows how strong he is and how much damage he's willing to do to you. And I just really believe that this is a situation between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, where it is a very good small man against a very good big man, where the very good smaller man style and mentality is tailor-made for the big man's mentality. Errol Spence wants you to come to him. He wants a war. A guy that is a body that goes to the body like that likes to do that, he likes for you to be there. And Terence Crawford will be there. There is a chance for certain for Terence Crawford to win the bout. But in order for him, in my opinion, for him to win the bout, he cannot engage. And he has to change his mentality. And when you have been in boxing that long, and your core personality is aggressive. You saw how he was with Jose Ramirez, right? This is a guy, and this is not the skill. This is not a skill question. This is a mentality question. He was with David Benavidez, excuse me. So it is Jose Benavidez, the guy more than likely he's going to beat up next, right? Because that's the guy that he wants that is calling him out. I believe he's with Top Rank, right? His brother tried to switch over to Top Rank, but I think he is with Top Rank. Right, Jose Benavidez. When they were sitting, it was before Jose Benavidez last bout. When Jose Benavidez was talking to him, and go to YouTube and look at it. And Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford was like, "Look, you better focus on your fight before you don't make it to your fight. Focus on your fight before you don't make it to your fight. We can go outside right now. We look at his eyes. He's not playing. He's not playing. He wants to battle." That's his mentality. That's not Floyd Mayweather's mentality. Floyd Mayweather's mentality is, I want to win and I want to make some money and I'm going to get out of here without you hitting me. No, you're not going to hit me. I don't want to get touched. I want to beat you and I want to win this round. I'm going to win this round convincingly and I don't have to be a hero. I'll come back and be exciting next. I'll be exciting next match. Personally, I think that Bud Crawford, when he's in the ring with somebody, that's what he's thinking about, beating that guy up. He's like taking it like, oh man, and that's to his credit. When he goes in there with guys like Jeff Horn, right? Somebody that has absolutely, I'm not gonna dog Jeff Horn on this one, but if he goes in there against 135 pounders, that works. He goes in there against 140 pounders, that works. It worked for him. You go in there against 147 pounders, now you have a situation where it worked with him with Jeff Horn, and he did hurt Jeff Horn a bit, but Jeff Horn never put his hands, I don't think Jeff Horn ever put his hands higher than his belly button the whole bout. I don't think he ever protected his chin. He was trying to be awkward, and you can't, and try to play a thinking man's game against a guy that was smarter than him. He tried to outslick a slickster. And it didn't work. But Errol Spence he's not going to slick you. He's not going to outslick you. And I do believe there's a lot more to his game than what he's showing. He showed that in certain instances in the bout with Lamont Peterson. And I do believe Lamont Peterson is a very underrated boxer. At this stage in his career, he's underrated and he completely dominated Lamont Peterson. And here's the thing too. Errol Spence Jr. doesn't even have to get mad to do that. He doesn't have to stick his tongue out. He doesn't have to dislike you. He doesn't have to do anything of the sort. He's just going to go about that. The way that he said it is, I can be a soft-spoken guy and talk nice to a guy, and then 2 seconds later, I can talk to the guy in the ring, and then as soon as the bell rings, I'm on you. It's not really a transformation, but I don't gotta be angry or hate a person to get the win or get my W or stop my opponent. just evil. That dude is that's just a monster, man. That's like you have somebody that's angry at you, want to get in the right, get it, and he wants to get at you, but then you got another kind of guy who just don't care. Who's just, hey man, this doesn't matter to me. Yes, I hurt you. I feel no emotion. Anyway, I hope the bout happens, man. As far as this one coming up this weekend, nah, there's gonna be a party in Dallas, man. And I just hope that Carlos Ocampo makes it out of this safe, because from what I can see, he's just gonna absolutely positively get beaten up. And with that, I'm out. Peace.